Enzo Ferrari, Ferruccio Lamborghini, Gordon Murray, Ferdinand PX, Materi Mats, not Elon Musk, Christian von Koenigsegg, John Hennessy, Horacio Pagani. Remember these names and the brands that are associated with them. They are some of the greatest supercar automakers in the world, with their legendary stories and the journey through how they got into the toughest competition in the automotive world. And it's truly a wondrous feat that they achieved what they wanted to achieve and are still going on with their dreams, dead or alive. But today, I want to talk about a brand, the person who created it, and their latest creation, which dated back to the early 2000s. But it still did not come to fruition. So yes, as promised earlier, I'm going to talk about the LOTEC Sirius. Kurt Lothar-Schmidt, the founder of LOTEC company. They created and modified road cars, race cars, and specially ordered production road car for a rich oil tycoon with a blank check and a simple request: make me the fastest supercar in the world with 1000 horsepower, which I made an entire video about. So with all those projects to back him up, it is safe to say that Mr. Kurt has an impressive backlog to him, especially with the C1000 and how great it was. I would say the guy was a visionary, and I truly respect that. He was such a great visionary when it came to the LOTEC Sirius, because allegedly the guy designed the entire exterior of the car without any drawings or computer renderings or any help from other designers. He lined up a bunch of wooden boards, cut them to shape with an angle grinder, and then built a 1/4 scale model around those, which you can see in the picture right here after the real car was made. Essentially, the car was constructed by LOTEC's founder from using the term of "from a vision" too seriously. Can you believe that? Imagine you just woke up one day and you have a thought, a car design in your mind that you can make. Right then and there, you just don't think about it anymore. You take action. You set up some wooden blocks and pour clay all over it, just to shave and shave and shave, just to make it out how you imagined it to be. And you finally designed a car of your dreams, literally. But do you have those skills with you, envisioning and designing your own car, even with a drawing paper and some computer softwares? Because if you don't, then this video is sponsored by yours truly, me. Because I've made a course, a guide on how you can envision, visualize and design your own car, just like I did here with my second designed car, which I've called the Dusra, because in Hindi second means Dusra. It's my second design, so it's Dusra. So it sounds cool, so why not? From technical drawings to AutoCAD conversion to Fusion 360 renderings and everything in between. The best part, you learn as I make Dusra from scratch, and I truly believe it can help you a lot. But if you just want to draw cars, I can help you with that too. This course named You Can Draw Cars, inspired by the book from which I learned to draw all of it. Also, if you're one of the first 20 customers, you get a 50% discount right off the bat, and you get to decide what more needs to be added onto the course to make it better. For that, just use code PREORDER50 in the checkout page. So check these both out in the link in the description or the pinned comment. And now back to the video. LOTEC Sirius was supposed to dethrone the long reign of the McLaren F1's top speed record and claim it for itself. At least that was the plan, so it took almost 3 years to complete the concept cars, which featured the iconic BBS rims that were similar to the C1000. Then at final stage they were swapped with, in my opinion, less impressive rims, if I'm being perfectly honest. But then even with that, let's talk about the specs. The C1000 was known for its absurd amount of horsepower, which was 1000 horsepower from a twin-turbo Mercedes V8 engine in 1995. And so it was quite a surprise when I got to know that the Sirius, with a 6-liter Mercedes V12, this time with twin turbos as well, only created 850, and The weight 1280 kilograms, heavier than C1000 at 1080 kilograms. So naturally, with Sirius being heavier and having less power than the C1000, it was slower. 0 to 60 was 3.8 seconds, and the top speed 249 miles per hour or 400 kilometers per hour, which would have made it the fastest car in the world, finally achieving its goal of dethroning the F1. But some say that if they wanted more horsepower from their car, the Sirius's twin turbos named Triple KK27s could be tuned to add more pressure onto the system or onto the engine. 1.2 bar of boot to be exact, which could have increased the horsepower from 850 brake horsepower to 1300 brake horsepower. Now that's the LOTEC I would like to have, and that much horsepower in the 2000s was downright absurd too. And to control that amount of horsepower, LOTEC added many comfort features as well, like electronic aids, power steering and air conditioning too, making it much more civilized than the examples of the time, the TVRs or the Vipers of the time. It was on par with Pagani's and Koenigsegg's technology too, as the power was sent to the rear wheels via 6-speed CIMA manual transmission, the same transmission company that provided their transmissions to Nilu 27 as well. So that is good. The Sirius also presented race car credentials with its double wishbone independent push rod suspension with sway bars or anti-roll bars in both front and rear with anti-lock brakes. So I have no doubt that this car handles well just like the C1000. Sirius also had a carbon fiber body shell with steel tubular space rim chassis, although the C1000 had a carbon fiber monocoque which is stiffer. But anyway, we can all talk about performance, specs and 0 to 60s forever. But now let's talk about the looks. And truth be told, if this car did not look as good as it did, then frankly I would not have bothered one bit to make an entire video on it. But look at it. It looks like a spaceship just like the C1000 and the Countach. Everyone would be staring back at you if you were to drive this car, and it would pull all the attention of the people that no other car will. The outrageous beauty of the C1000 was turned into a sublime, curvaceous beauty of symphony, and I love it. Also, this car is wide, at 2.08 meters wide, now wider than a Diablo, no less. Can you believe it? And its looks are what got me to think that this was actually a spiritual successor to the C1000 with all its power, speed and looks. Costed 380,000 pounds at launch, and compared to another competitors of the time, Celine S7 costed a bit more, around 430,000 pounds, which had considerably less power at 550 brake horsepower and a bit more weight too at 1300 kilograms. So as for the money, Sirius was a better spec car. So, when can I buy one? Said the rich gentleman. Well, you can't, because it's a one-off and no production versions of the Sirius has ever been released, because the investors for this car from Dubai and later China reported interested but demanded too much input or control. So plans fell apart quick and no production cars were ever created. And this is where I would like to discuss the brutal nature of supercar and hypercar competition, because if your car can beat them to it, it's still not a guarantee that your car will make it through. It's still not good enough, especially if you're an independent obscure car manufacturer. Nothing like the MNCs, which has cash to burn and increase their brand image just like Toyota did with the Lexus LFA. And so many supercar and hypercar manufacturers have shut down, like Istera. Well, some say it's still alive, but with the Istera Commendatore 112i, it was outright gone, empty. There was nothing there as far as I know. Then it was Gumpert with the Gumpert Apollo, and I don't know how many times that Koenigsegg was on the chopping block but managed to push it through to this level today. But as far as Christian von Koenigsegg was concerned, the company would have shut down for like 50 times or so, he thought that way. Not even that, there could be investors that outright refuse to invest in such a risky business as selling supercars, and even if they did, they might want a significant decision making power to maximize profit. On top of that, part suppliers and vendors are an issue in themselves, combined with smart and highly skilled engineers required to make a supercar in the first place that you want. And all this with your competition or competitors like the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, the Bugattis that are backed up by multi-billion-dollar corporations that has every bit of small and big advantages that you don't have. But at least it's one great hell of a ride. And the irony of the Sirius being the spiritual successor to the C1000, because apart from the commonality of carrying similar design languages, it was only made once. Only one prototype, I would say, not even a real car. And it only claimed its top speed rather than officially prove it. And then it was forgotten into obscurity with no production versions ever made. But truth be told, I like the Sirius, and I have a massive respect for Kurt Lothar-Schmidt for even trying, at least just trying, making a single unit and a single example, you would say. And if the story of him designing this car from just a vision is true, with all those angle grinders and wooden blocks, then he's one of my automakers Hall of Fame. It's just the fact. Just by the way, that outrageous feat that he has achieved just to design this beauty of a car, the Sirius. And with all that, folks, I'll see you in the next one.